people. Hello. Welcome. Sorry. Hello, hello. Really quick. Maybe I should have restarted my. Must be struggling a little bit. Okay, today might be a little bit different. And my wife joining me today. She's not here yet, but she will be. I did.
Wow! I'm on your. Wow.
Oh, Mocha. Hmm. Oh, Ellen. No, your mic is.
Can people hear
I think so.
what they want to hear?
Might have to. The light is facing you? Yeah.
Can the people hear me now? Woof. Woof, woof.
Okay.
Woof, 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 woof.
Am I lagging? You're very quiet. That's okay.
Okay, definitely.
I can change.
Skaboosh. My amazing wife? Oh my gosh.
Hey. Nothing wrong with that.
Jeez. I have enough people apparently jealous of me. Please don't hate me. And making people hate me because other people go surround me.
Hmm. What? Say something?
Something. 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 Da-da-da-da. Tell me something good. Tell me something.
Hmm. That mic is not your friend.
No, no, it is not. Well, I already knew that. I already knew that.
Like it's got like a buzz to it.
It's called a Belle microphone. Microphone.
Wow, that hurt. Hold on. I don't really need. Not even pick. Mm.
Whoa, ew. How do I make it not do this?
Live like.
A bad microphone, Raymond.
That's true. I can't. Oh.
Why are you doing this? Why is my mouth moving so weak? It's like moving 12 inches a year.
That's not a better microphone either.
Why are you slow, man?
Hmm. but slow.
Something.
Hmm?
Something?
Is it a silly idea? Yes.
You are so stubborn. Why?
I just wanted
You say that, but you already did it. Fart.
What?
Did you fart?
No. Oh, that sounds so much better. Yeah, that works. Now say something.
Something. I don't know. The inspiration is dribbling away. Honestly, I'm probably gonna work on. I don't know.
Hmm?
I didn't have any plans to draw someone in particular. I was just gonna doodle.
I thought you were gonna like work on some like older characters you had.
What are you talking
Huh? No?
about? What are you talking about?
Not what we were talking about earlier?
The one I was trying to find art of and I couldn't?
Hmm.
Is that what you're talking about?
Hmm. Yeah. That one.
Maybe. I'm not really sure.
Key clackings are coming clearer through than your voice. I have to give up. Gotcha. Hmm? Advertising what? The stream? Oh. Oh. Oh, Belle Automata. Oh. Got that one. the live chat for YouTube. I have to reload it every time. I don't know how to get like a universal pop-out chat for YouTube. Like, I gotta work on that. To like load in a new URL every stream is not ideal. But that's okay. This microphone actually does really well, and I think it was like a $30 Amazon mic. I like having the little dial on it so you can set the sensitivity of what it's going to capture. It does a lot of the heavy lifting, so I'm not like picking up background noise. It does require for me to be closer to it, but it's not bad. Ah. Might turn up the music then, because it was like drowning you out a bit, and then I couldn't get your volume up anyway. But ripperoni. Where'd you what? Hmm. Let's see. I could just use a different program. Got this one. Oh, for whatever reason, that one thinks have. LOL. Right now, I'm just kind of. I could be working on Diego, but I'm kind of frozen mentally, so. Huh? Oh. LOL. Excuse me. Oh, hey. Hey, Mason. How's it going? Yeah. I'm kind of just I'm gonna take like a quick like creative like break from Diego for a little bit. Oh, I'm doing all right. I was thinking about an older character of mine and maybe redoing it. I don't know. Jasenia and I were just talking about like getting into creating characters, and so I thought I should like take a break from doing the same drawing and like just goof around. Not really goof around, but like take something and maybe make something out of it. I don't know. Just kind of break up the monotony a little bit. No, but I can. Yeah. Hold on. Progression picture. No. A side profile of Sam. Not very interesting, to be honest. Actually, hold on, let me go to the floor. Send you. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I was talking to myself, but something I was like talking about as I started playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I started noticing like something peculiar. Playing the game. Oh. Actually, no. I have a new draw tool. Hold on. Let me give this a shot. Yeah. But the weirdest thing I noticed. So I have this, like, I took a screenshot of the sketch I did. But let me see. Okay, so I got like a little pointer here. So that's okay. Okay, so I had this here. So I was entering into a room. I think this was on Dathomir, and there's an enemy down below. But I noticed that like sometimes enemies would just like spawn in and out based on like where you're coming from. Like I was on Zepho, the planet, and leaving the like Jedi, or not, the Zepho temple, and then going back to the ship. You know, you fight a whole bunch of like rocket launcher troopers and tougher enemies, and I cleared out some stormtroopers, and then I go to an area, and there's a door. So I walk through the door, and then I walk back out of the door, thinking, maybe I missed something, because I like to backtrack and make sure I'm not missing anything. And different troopers spawned, like the ones from the beginning. It's like the game didn't expect me to backtrack so quickly, and it immediately like placed like 10 more troopers that were not there. And I realized the game
with
has
the power
this,
of friendship.
Oh, you switched to Twitch just to do that? Thanks for the follow, Mason. What's that? What's odd? Technically I need 3 more. But I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. So I think what it is, to make the game not feel empty, I believe what they do is they, I think they have, when you enter into an area, I believe the environment gets flagged. And then certain enemies either pop in or aggro. And this also happened on Dathomir, where like I go through and there's like a drop down, and there's a Night Brother down in the bottom. And so like you go down, take him out. Every time you walk along this purple edge, it's like this is like a ledge that's going around on the outside of the building. You drop down and he's there. But if you, like, say, come in through the shortcut that unlocks later, like right after this. Yes. Then go back to that room, the guy's not there. Like, he doesn't spawn. What's that? Oh, hold on. I had airplane mode on. There we go. There we go. So I think, where was I? Yeah, I think the game like does that, where if you don't touch a certain area, an enemy does not show up, like ever. And it's not like I entered this room after I took out the guy. This is like a different time I showed up on the planet. He should be there, because he's always there. He should always be there. But because I didn't walk on this ledge getting in here, he just doesn't show up. And so, that was something interesting I had noticed. There was another point in the game where I actually sequence broke the game. I, climbed up a wall on Zepho, and there's a stormtrooper. There's you go through this like little area towards the beginning. There's like this platform. Your ship's here. This badly drawn ship, but like the ship's here. It's landed, and then there's like a warehouse here, and a warehouse here, and you're on this platform. And then behind this warehouse is like a big open area with like houses here, and it just keeps going. But in this area, like on top of these houses, there's like a wall. There's like a stormtrooper here. He's just here. He's just minding his own business. And then there's like a whole bunch over here on the ground. Well, I go up and I like find a corner and I hop on top of the wall and go over here. And guess what? I walk in front of the stormtrooper here, and he does nothing. He doesn't even acknowledge my existence. Like, I'm jumping in front of him, I'm moving around, I'm like running into his like model, and he's not interacting with me at all. And I think it's because I glitched up the wall and didn't hit I didn't flag this enemy NPC for attacking me. And I think the reason would be is like if he were to if you enter in here and you have like all these stormtroopers, he'd be shooting you from above. No, there wasn't a cutscene. That's the thing, no cutscene. There's a difference. This game doesn't have like cutscene triggers. It's got location-based triggers. And I think the reason being is because you backtrack back through this exact area along the top end to get back and exit after doing the main quest. So if you were to like come in here, not die, right? Like not die, not reset any enemies, and you took out this stormtrooper because he was shooting at you, and these ones, and the ones on top of this building because they'd be shooting at you. Oh, what just happened? Right? You took out the entire area because like you entered the area and they're all loaded. They're loaded in. But the ones on the top don't even know you're there. I think it's because if you were to come back, there'd be nothing to fight, and you would just be running through in an empty area that's supposed to have a stormtrooper, like a Imperial base on it, with no one rushing in as people are getting like knocked out, taken off the senses. You're just walking through emptiness. And that's why I think also later, like there's a door on the same planet, and I entered in, and there's like 5 or 6 guys here. I go through here, I take them all out, and I go through the door, and I'm like, wait a minute. I go back through the door, new people spawn, but it's different people. It's people, like I had died at that point, so like I died somewhere around here. So when I had come through here originally, these people like had already like respawned. However, because I was coming back from the main quest area, I just had all these like new guys. None of the old ones. And because I double back around, coming from this direction, it spawned in the old guys as if I was coming through the level for the first time. it only loads characters in, or like loads enemies based off of position and direction you're traveling. Final Fantasy games? That's tough. Because I haven't played that many. Actually, Jaseni has played more than I have. Final Fantasy games? Mason is asking, I've never played any of the Final Fantasy games, but want to. Which game is the best one to play in the entire series, do you think?
When you go into a JRPG, what's the thing you like the most? That, I think, is the first question, because each Final Fantasy, the earlier ones, like pre-7, all have a similar premise, like Heroes of Light, etc., etc., and there's usually 4 of them. Have you ever played Bravely Default? Okay, the reason I laugh is because it's like Final Fantasy is what people think of as JRPG. Like, that's the genre standard, I think, in a lot of ways. So in that case, since you don't know, like, each game is different from the previous game. So if you want to just try, like, would I like a JRPG, then I would stick to like 3 or 4, because those are kind of like standard and they're accessible. Like, they exist, I'm pretty sure. Why? Have you ever played Pokemon? Yeah, but not for all of them. But if you want to try something new, then it may not have to be something. Okay, alright, so basically, like in Pokemon, you choose your attacks. You attack, then the other player or the NPC chooses their attacks and attack. So there's kind of like a strategy element depending on what you're fighting. Earlier Final Fantasy games in their rawest form are basically that, except instead of fighting with creatures, you yourself are fighting, and the player characters have like classes or roles. So for example, let's say I am a monk class. That means that generally my weapon is Mr. Righty and Mr. Lefty. Like, you're just gonna be straight up punching everything that you fight. Whereas some people, like if they're a knight, they might fight with a sword. You'll have archers or rangers who will be more like of a long distance. So there's like similar ideas of you can have strategy when you approach the game based off of who or what you're fighting. And in the same way that you have a team of in the same way that your Pokemon has 4 different moves, your team, you'll have 4 different people, and they can all be different classes, and you could basically have a bunch of healers and one person who is just taking everybody out, like attacking, but then you don't have a tank, so then, you know, you'll just eat it anyway. But the point is, like, that turn-based is a lot like earlier Final Fantasy games. Now, 7 is what changed the franchise overall from just a standard kind of like 4 people saving the world, which a lot of the earlier games are like, into like having a much bigger party, where now, let's say you have a party of, like, along the story you meet 8 different people, they all join you. Now you can only fight still in groups of 4, but you can choose who of that 8 that will be the 4 that you play with, and they usually have specialized roles that they're very good at, so their stats will be higher in certain areas. Like someone who is a brawler, they'll have maybe high attack, okay defense, but a little bit lower, and they might be really weak to like magic attacks or things like that. And so if that's the case, then you might want to have somebody on your team who could balance that out, someone who could absorb those blows. And so there's different roles based off of, you know, what that person's skill is. And therefore, like, they all have different classes and things and roles like you do in Pokemon, except now it's more like you have a team where you can go into your, you know, computer and take Pokemon out from your boxes depending on who you're going to fight. So it's more similar, like gives you more flexibility. Now, the difference I would say with Final Fantasy VII is Final Fantasy VII was such a long game that it came in multiple discs. and people have been asking for a remake of that game for a bajillion years, and Square Enix always said no because they didn't feel like it. And finally they were like, you know what, here's a shut up game, and it's a remake of Final Fantasy, except for they altered it so that it is not an exact remake, but more like a remix, did you say? Where they have a lot of the same key elements from the original game, but there are elements of changing the plot of the original game based off of things that the players complained about. So it's kind of like a, well, you wanted this kind of thing, but I think it's still good. Raymond is like, I waited all this time to play it, and they're saying that the player is dumb for this, and I'm just kind of like, the player is dumb. But you know, we agree to disagree. So if you want to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake, just know that it is not the same as the original Final Fantasy VII. However, the Final Fantasy VII is definitely made for a different time. So it is long, and there's a lot of Zubats, if you know what I mean. Like, just a lot of, like, you cannot see, like, random event battles. You can't see them on the overworld map. So it really is like you walk 3 steps and boom, you get pulled into fighting another Zubat. And you're like, if I see one more Zubat. So I do think the remake has some advantages, but the other disadvantages of the remake would be like they tried to make it a little bit more linear. So there is an open world feeling, but it's not really open world. And the more, if you're a person who likes, like, who loved Sword and Shield or who loved Arceus, then you'll definitely notice, like, oh, this I'm being herded into a specific area. I said remake. Oh, no. So the Rebirth, so as I mentioned, Final Fantasy was such a long game, they had to make it, and when they released it in 97, I think it was, they released it on multiple CDs. So that as the remake of Final Fantasy VII goes, they're actually releasing it in parts. So, yeah, because they're making it longer. So Rebirth is part 2. You want, yeah, just Final Fantasy Remake is part 1, Rebirth is part 2, and then the third part is not out yet. The final part. It's supposed to come out like next year or something like that, but they've been pretty on time with the first 2 pieces, but I actually have not played part 2. I played part 1 and I found it a lot of fun. But, you know, I think that as a game, it's really fun, very heavy in story, but I don't think it's hard to follow or anything like that. Now, if you just want to try like a Final Fantasy game without any baggage, the one I would recommend the most probably would be 10 and 10-2, because, or it's X, because they don't use like the number 10, they use like X, so it's X and X2. The reason I choose those 2 is not only is X loved, but X2 is also loved, and like not every Final Fantasy game has great sequels. So Final Fantasy 13, which is another one of my faves, you really can't go wrong with that one either, has horrible sequel called Lightning Returns. And on top of that, it generated 2 sequels. Final Fantasy 13 generated 2 sequels, neither of which I played because I like to sleep at night. And when my husband told me about, or when Raymond told me about his playthrough of number 2, his number 2, he liked number 2. And the reason I didn't play number 2 is because I don't like sequel games that have a different main character. Like, at least let the main character be a part of my party, even if they're not the central character. But it was a character I didn't care about, and her love interest, who I also did not care about, and her love interest was in the party of the first game, and I tolerated him, and then had to play as him. I couldn't do it. Actually, well, he's not playable, but he's close to the main character. I have to hear his voice again. I didn't like his voice acting. I just don't like him. But that's I'm getting too hyped right now. Anyway, the point is, Final Fantasy 13-2, I did not play because I was not interested in the player character. Final Fantasy 13-3, which is called Lightning Returns, I absolutely was not playing. And then Raymond, you know, told me that it was booty cheeks anyway. So it's a good thing that I didn't play it. So unlike 13, which has the baggage of lesser sequels, X is fantastic, and X2 is also fantastic. It's also lighthearted and has like what I would call like Final Fantasy's just vibe. Like, it has all of the elements that make me think, oh, this is a fun game. So for example, it has a wide cast of human and non-human characters. It had like who are player characters. it has a side game that has nothing to do with the actual game, but is still delightful. Like the main character is the equivalent of like a underwater volleyball like champion. Like he plays that as a game, and there's time travel, which is like a big kind of like theme throughout it. It's a really really fun world, and so I think that it's really enjoyable. Like there's so many fun like wacky time twistery things that I think make Final Fantasy X and X2 great, and they were remastered on Switch, so accessible. 13, I think 13's only on the PS3. Yeah, 13's only on the PS3, and even though it's fantastic, like I said, there's a lot of baggage in the fandom. So if you played 13, I think the purest way to do it is you only play 13, but you know, your mileage may vary. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Also, the characters are great in X. Like, I don't want to say their names, but I love the cast in that game. They're really fun, and they don't have baggage, and that makes it delightful. Because, I don't know, Final Fantasy VII, like, almost all the characters have baggage, and they're moody, and it's just kind of like, bro, chill pill. I mean, they probably would if the world wasn't dying, but still. But yeah, sorry, that was a very, very long chat. Also, play Bravely Default. That's it.
So yeah, play those ones. Why? Apologize to me. I've only played 13 and 7. Played 13, 13.2, and 13.3, and 7. Yes, I did actually. I've played the remake of 7, and then went back and I'm playing through the original because I was advertised to that the original story. Ooh, Xenoblade. Honestly, play Xenoblade first, but that's just me. Yeah, he's never played Xenoblade. Start with Xenoblade 1, right? Definitive Edition on the Switch. Oh, for Final Fantasy? Okay.
Like, those are beloved.
Okay. My favorite. And it's hers too.
I'm not.
You need to make sure that you're like clarifying Final Fantasy X, not Xenoblade.
So beloved, it got a and its sequel for the Switch. Like, even Final Fantasy 7 script, but not X or X2. They were like, oh, X2? Yeah, that's my girl. That's my boy. But I look.
So you don't wait. What? Okay, you have to get a Switch because it's not available on PS5. Okay, so Final Fantasy X and X2 will be on the PS5. You'll be able to play those. I don't know what happened, but it's a shame you don't have your Switch anymore. But like, yeah, if you do get a Switch, I can't recommend Xenoblade enough. And like starting with that, it's pretty simple. You start with the first one, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Yeah, Definitive Edition is like, because the original one's on the Wii. Wait until the Switch too. Yeah. Honestly, like, depending on how you like the first one, if you like the first one, you'll like the third one, for sure. You probably will like 2. You won't like, depends. You may or may not like 2's main character at first, but that kind of falls away rather quickly. Xenoblade 2 is great. It's still one of my favorites. 3 is fantastic. Both, all three of them, Xenoblade Definitive Edition, 2 and 3, with their DLC, they have an additional game just bundled in, along with all the DLC stuff that they added. And like for Xenoblade 2, it's like a 40-hour game that they bundled in. It was a prequel. For Definitive Edition, it's like a 35 to 40-hour epilogue. And for Xenoblade 3, it's a 40-hour prequel as well. So like, yeah. But I think with Definitive Edition, it's not a DLC, it just comes with it. The epilogue comes with it. Just off rip. Belle Automata remake. We need to finish it first. Right and now, it's not an RPG. We're still in make, not remake. Making an RPG would be fun. Both of us. Me. You can let me. Mm-hmm. Acronym for what acronym? DMG, decision making game? The acronym for her. Oh, the game genre of hers? Virtual novel? Visual novel? VN? Or it's a... VN. I guess. I don't know. I never really thought of like it having an acronym. Yes, yes. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Okay. With this character, that I have like a basic muscles. Yeah, it's gonna be a boy. I always like, okay. And I hardly ever draw men, so. Oh. Setting me up. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. But that's like if you took all the skin and fat off. That's what you see. I'm trying to think. We're gonna build off of this. It's like bare bones. Well, not bones yet. I have seen nothing about that movie. I don't keep up with movies hardly anymore. Kind of sad. I had no idea they were making a Fantastic Four till I saw a poster. I still haven't even watched the trailer, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Alright, let's give ourselves like... I'm gonna add in a timer. Galactus? They're doing Galactus for the first... Okay. We can do that. Alright, we'll give ourselves... You mentioned 10 minutes before? Why don't we do that? We'll give ourselves 10 minutes to give this guy a face. A real face. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Name a characteristic. Moles? Moles? I want to put a mole. Like personality.
Anguish.
Okay. Hmm. Oh, he looks disgusted. Well, I only have 10 minutes, so I guess we'll keep going. What kind of nose? Let's give him like... big eye. Like... real caterpillars, you know? You're no help. Just mentioning how much time there is left. I see the clock. You could be throwing suggestions out too, you know. Yeah, big ol' eyebrow. Okay. Nose type. Let's see. Eye? Like a big ol', like... maybe a nose like that. Like a big old... Why not make him have Wolverine lamb chops? Very hairy guy? Oh. What if he had, like... he had mutton chops? But that's all he had. Like, he's bald. Okay, so... Mine just looks sad and mopey. Okay, how about something like that where he's just doing like a weird expression? Okay. Stretch. Just showing your butt to everybody? Oh. I think a face only a mother could. These funny. Nope. Coming together. Those lips are diabolical. They're not helping. Okay. Quickly. You don't have much time. Okay. Oh, what I'm looking. Okay. Let's try it again. Let's do something different. Yeah, not my best. And reset. Okay. All right. Have fun cleaning up your office. Talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for following. That does help a lot, actually. Bye. What? I'm too slow. Hmm. Are we? I'm done fiddling. Hmm. Oh. Familiar with everything? Simple? Like, you don't have to, like... You don't feel like... Be better, but I don't... gets into a lot of like my way sometimes. Like not understanding if I'm like using the best tool. I don't know what I have. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, for like the stroke? Press down? Hmm. auto dragging onto your preferences settings. You can turn that stuff off.
Strong today, glory will be with us. Now the time has come to fight and seize the day.
At least there should be. Have the programs you use. Huh? What?